Welcome back to Real-ationship Goals, a podcast all about exploring the realities and complexities of healthy relationships. Real-ationship Goals is a project of the Prevention and Education team at the Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children in Waco, Texas. If you or someone you know has experienced sexual violence or harassment and is seeking support services or needs more information, links to resources and our hotline number can be found in the description. The views expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of their organizations or affiliates.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Real-ationship Goals. We are your hosts. We're going to introduce ourselves, name, pronoun, as well as our Chinese Zodiac sign. So I'll start. My name is Mónica. I use they, she pronouns, and my Chinese Zodiac sign is the rabbit. I was born in 99, so I was born in the year of the rabbit.
My name's Elsie, and my pronouns are she, her, and my zodiac sign is the snake.
I'm Ariana. My pronouns, I use she, her, and I was born in the year of the tiger. I was born in 1998.
All right. So that is a little bit of a different intro. Today is a special topics episode, and today we are going to be talking about Lunar New Year. We did want to put a disclaimer. As we were doing our research, we were understanding as Lunar New Year as kind of an umbrella term, and then a lot of different regions have their own celebrations, traditions, and such. But so often, sometimes Chinese New Year and Lunar New Year are used kind of interchangeably. But we just want to put that disclaimer out there. So yeah, today's topic is Lunar New Year. Today we have different elements of different celebrations or just aspects of the celebration. And I can start us off. I'm starting off with the lion dance. And so in Chinese culture specifically, based on what I was looking at, the lion represents power and wisdom. But another website actually also said courage, strength, and ability to conquer evil. And so when people do these lion dances, it's like a huge, well, it looks huge. The head is huge. It's like a costume. There's one person in the front controlling the head and someone in the back who is the hind legs and the tail. And so people do these dances at like Lunar New Year events, which we saw at the farmers market this past Saturday, or like business openings or weddings, because this dance is supposed to symbolize strength, good fortune, and also meant to like ward away any evil spirits. So talking about Chinese New Year, so the start of the new year, business openings and like weddings. And so there's that. And then I did have talking about like the two performers, which I mentioned that because there's also a dragon dance, which that is different. It's not the two performers, but it's like a dragon and there's like long sticks underneath and the dancers will hold the stick. So it's like above them. And so they do stuff with that. And so the dancers hold the poles. So I just want to make that little clarification as well. Some colors that are important to lion dances that we have red, that signifies courage, joy, and again, ability to ward off like evil. We have green, which symbolizes harmony and friendship. And then we have gold, which symbolizes wealth, prosperity, and good fortune. And something else that I was looking into is that there's different types of lion dances. Lion dances. There's like a southern and a northern. And I was trying to figure out what we saw on Saturday because Southern has a little bit more of like acrobatic movements and the costumes are different too. So that's kind of where I'm thinking what we saw was the Southern because the Northern one is more like martial arts and the lion costume looks more realistic to a traditional lion. So I was looking up those two. So anyways, all that to say that there's two different lion dances. There's Southern and then there's Northern, which I think there's more, but those are the more common ones. So yeah.
They also had to like they danced twice on Saturday, so it may have
Yeah.
been both because I didn't see the second one.
I didn't get to see the second one either. And then another thing, with the lion dances, they're usually done with like big drums and bongs and stuff. Gongs. Gongs. Um, and that's also supposed to like ward off evil spirits too. So that's part of it too. Um, but yeah. But yes, that's all I have.
I think it's kind of unique because it's kind of unique because like it goes to show like how what you said between the southern style of the lion dances and the northern style of lion dances, how they just represent and represent the symbolic meaning of why it's important for their culture to do it and how they can twist and turn and just find different ways to honor the tradition in many ways. So I feel like that's real unique in how they do that.
Yeah, and I didn't know that they did it at weddings and business openings. I just have really been exposed to it here at our local like Lunar New Year farmers market, which I think this is the second one this year that they've done. And I remember there's this restaurant that just recently opened. I think it's a Vietnamese restaurant, and they had like lion dances there. And I was like, oh, like is that a New Year like Lunar New Year celebration? But now I know that that's also like for business opening because they were opening their brick and mortar to like conquer or like ward off like evil spirits, but just talking about like good fortune and stuff like that. And so no, I think it's really interesting. And then also I thought it was interesting because I've seen videos of lion dances on TikTok, and I saw one where the lion was like jumping off different like poles almost like, I mean, there's like a stand on top of the pole type of thing, but it was really interesting because when we saw it on Saturday, um, they were like engaging with the crowd, and then like the person in the front would get on like the person in the back's shoulders. And so like they were standing, and there's a term for that. I forgot what it was called. But on the video that I saw on TikTok, it was like they were more on the poles, but it was like really curious. Like they were like tilting its head and like acting like it's scared, and like it was almost very theatrical almost. And so it was very, very different. And so I just thought it was different. Maybe it was like the martial arts, like talking about the differentiation between them. I'm rambling, sorry. You can go ahead.
Okay, so I have a list of different like taboos. I don't know the correct pronunciation of that, but
Taboos, yeah.
and so most of these did come from like resources on like the Chinese New Year. But I tried to get them from like a few different websites and just to like see if I could find anything that was more related to like every part
Yeah, more
that,
general.
yeah, more generalized. But the first one is that you should avoid saying negative words. So anything like death, poverty, loneliness, illness, anything like that. Because if you say them, then you will bring them upon yourself and your loved ones. Um, don't break things because it'll break your connection to prosperity and fortune. If it said that if you did end up breaking something, you're supposed to like put it in a bag and put it in a red bag, I want to say, and wait until the Lunar New Year is over and then throw it away. I'm pretty sure that's what it said. I don't know if all the details on that one were correct. Don't clean, sweep, shower, or wash your clothes because you'll sweep or wash away the good luck. Don't use sharp objects like scissors or knives because it'll cut your stream of wealth and success. Especially haircuts are a no-go during the Lunar New Year. Don't visit your wife's family on Lunar New Year, specifically on the day. Because traditionally, when the wife gets married, they will move into the husband's household with his family. And so if you go back to the wife's family, then it signifies that you have marriage problems and it'll bring both of your guys' families bad luck. So a lot of or traditionally they would go to the wife's household on the second day of Lunar New Year. Don't demand debt repayment because that shows that you have understanding. Avoid fighting and crying to signify a smooth path into the new year. Avoid taking medicine, that way that you won't get sick for the rest of the year, kind of going back to the negative words. If you're not supposed to wake somebody up or give them like New Year blessings while they're still in bed, then if you do, then they'll be bedridden for the rest of the year. You should avoid wearing black and white because normally that goes with like more somber occasions, so like funerals, stuff like that. And so if you do wear those, you're inviting that misfortune to come into your life. And then napping would set a lazy tone for the rest of the year.
Oh man, that's so hard.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'd be napping.
And then the last one that I have is that you should bring gifts when you're visiting people, except you should be careful with what you bring as a gift. It says that each region will have their own like different gift taboos, but specifically for the Chinese New Year, clocks are a poor gift because it is a homophone for another word that means paying one's last respects. And then it also says that splitting pears is a homophone for separation.
Pears specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Pears like the food or pears like 1, 2?
Pears like the food.
Okay. I was like, pears?
Unless I wrote it down wrong, then it might be the other pears.
I was gonna say something that we follow for some reason, like we've just really attached to it in our household is like not doing the dishes, laundry, cleaning, or showering on like the first day, which is so hard. But then this year we had to do laundry. Was it laundry? And obviously like I had to shower. I was like, oh my gosh, like we're our good fortune's going down the drain. And then I was like, wait, it's not Lunar New Year yet, so maybe I'm okay. And so I don't know, we've been doing that for so many years. We've just kind of added it to our New Year tradition, but at the start of the year. But this year I was like, maybe I'm good. I still have towards the end of the month.
Interesting.
It's there's a lot of intention behind it, I feel. Like, especially like the gift giving, that's like you have to be so intentional with the gift. Which I'm like, man, I would put a lot of thought into that. Like, how do I not mess this other person up for the year?
Well, I mean, even I feel like you would have to be intentional with like the words that you say throughout the day, because not saying negative words, especially now, everybody's favorite phrase is crash out, which I think is negative.
Yeah.
So like just going through your day and having to think about like there's so many little things that you need to be careful of, whether you say them or whether you do them, just so that you can like keep up your good fortune for the year, which I think is really cool to be able to have like such a long day of intentionality like that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Everything is very carefully thought out and so much intention is put into it for the end result of bringing positive energy into the new year.
Yeah. Even like with the lion dances, I'm like, that's so intentional. Like, I like the storytelling part of it, of like warding off the spirits and things like that, and like it's good fortune. Because like when the performers, the person in the front got on the person's shoulders in the back, it was like supposed to be like we're scaring off the bad spirits. I was like, wow, like someone who doesn't know that doesn't understand what's going on right now. We're being protected. Sorry, Ariana. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Okay. So as some may know, Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, which is the umbrella term, is celebrated for 16 days. So from Chinese New Year's Eve to Chinese Lantern Festival is between the 16 days. So there's many preparations at the start of the half of the month before Chinese New Year's Eve. So the tradition that I'll be speaking about is between the 30th and going on to the 12th of February of the month. So my tradition that I'm speaking on today are the red envelopes. So during Lunar New Year, parents usually give their children red envelopes after the reunion dinner. So that's where they gather and they bring all the dishes and they eat together as a collective to wish them health, growth, and good studies in the coming year. So the red envelopes are considered as like lucky money. So another term for the red envelopes is lucky money to the kids. So the money in the red envelopes is to be believed to bring good luck, as red is the lucky color. So that's why it's called lucky money. So
Is there intentionality on how to spend the money too? Like, because it's lucky money?
Or are you
Does that
supposed
make
to
sense?
save it?
Or
or
save it?
save it, because like I think since it's being given to the children, as good luck for their growth, their wealth, and good studies, it's like you're either saving it or putting it like as a good investment towards your future type things. For kids, it's like, oh yeah, I got some money, but to parents and older relatives, it's more symbolic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's more intention behind it.
Mhm.
No, I remember I had a friend who she would get red envelopes, and as a kid she'd be like, I'm so ready for the money. And then I grew up and I was like, oh, like there's more to it. Well, that is all that we have today. We do have a recommendation and a relationship goal. I will pass it to Ariana with the relationship goal.
Yeah, so today's relationship goal for this episode is be authentically interested and curious when it comes to your peers that may be from a different cultural background, and supporting them and learning about the traditions that they may celebrate. That is my relationship goal.
Yeah. And I'll even add, like, when it comes to different backgrounds, it doesn't just have to be race or ethnicity. It can be religion. It could even be different types of, different types. I was going to say different types of churches. That is literally different religions. But I was even thinking, like, food is a lot for me. So I'm like, I'm always talking about food. So, like, even exploring different food. Because, like, something that we didn't talk about is probably like certain foods that are maybe at the reunion dinner. Is that what it's called? The
Reunion dinner.
Yeah, during Lunar New Year, maybe they have different things. But anyways, all that to say, yes, explore, learn about different cultures. And then I have the recommendation, which my recommendation to y'all is to look into your local Lunar New Year festivities. So during this episode, I've been referencing like Saturday, the farmers market, because a local organization here in Waco called Asian Leaders Network, in collaboration with the Waco's farmers market, put on a Lunar New Year festival. And like I said, I think this was their second time doing it. And they had like line dances, different vendors. I didn't walk around too much. So I'm like, I don't know if they had like different foods. But all that to say, yeah, please look into different festivities, which kind of ties into Ariana's relationship goal. But yeah, thank y'all so much for joining us and coming back and listening to us chit chat. If you want to keep connected with us, you can follow us on Facebook at Advocacy Waco, same on Instagram. And then for prevention and education specific stuff, you can follow us on Instagram at ACCVC_prevention. And that's all we have today. See y'all next time.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Real-ationship Goals. This episode was produced by the Prevention and Education Department of the Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children in Waco, Texas. Interested in more content from P&E or the Advocacy Center? You can follow us on Instagram at ACCVC_prevention or on Instagram and Facebook at Advocacy Waco. Be sure to like this episode and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Bye.